scaling, okay? We've gone through how to launch ad sets, we've gone through how to measure ad sets, how to act on data, how to even constrain ad sets using the data. And now what you need to know is how to make the most of those winning ad sets. So obviously what you want to do is scale them up. And for me, for AutoBid at least, there are three main scaling methods that I try to do. So that's what I'm going to cover in this section. First of all, I should say there is another very obvious way of scaling, and that is moving from AutoBid to manual bid. However, I'm not going to talk about manual bid in this section. So these three methods that I'm going to cover in this section are all to do with AutoBids. So first one is budget increase method. And my personal opinion on this is that it's very easy, very straightforward, and most people seem to get success with this one. And it's probably the one I'd recommend you try first. It does, however, take longer than others. So in the beginning, you're going to need some ad sets at low budgets, and for me that's usually a £5 a day daily budget, not a lifetime budget. And obviously you're going to require them to be profitable. There's no point scaling a losing ad set, because generally if it's unprofitable at £5 a day, it's going to be unprofitable at a larger amount per day. That's what I find from my own experience. You can by all means test and come back to me and let me know if you find otherwise, but for me anyway, that is what tends to happen. If it's unprofitable at a low budget, I don't see why it would be profitable at a high budget. I've tested it and the results agree with my opinion. So before scaling, obviously just kill all the ad sets that don't generate a sale after hitting your break-even cost per purchase point. In other words, kill all your unprofitable ad sets. And if ad sets are profitable, you can either leave them as is or you can consider beginning to try to scale them. The reason I say kill all your losing ad sets is because you don't want your mind to be all over the place with Facebook ads. I've had it before, and I've had it actually while doing this course, when you have so many different ad sets going on, so much to look at and manage, that sometimes it can get too much. So it's important that you sort of laser focus on what's working. So just get rid of the ad sets that are unprofitable. Don't lose any sleep over them and focus on what's working. So here are some guidelines. Now, I have to stress, these aren't rules. You don't have to stick to this by all means. They're just guidelines. They're just what other people and myself and people I've spoken to and worked with in the past have suggested and said about this method. You can do whatever you like, okay? You don't have to copy any of these three guidelines at all. I have to stress that. So first one, some people say to wait at least 3 days, even if an ad set is profitable, before scaling its budget. So let's say you're running an ad set at £5 a day, you get a sale and you make a £20 profit in the first day or something like that. People say leave that running, don't scale it yet, let it run for 3 days and then you can scale. Some people say wait for at least 3 sales. So maybe it's profitable in the first day, you spend that £5, you make that £20 profit. But maybe it takes a week to make 3 sales. People say wait for at least 3 sales. Some people say as soon as it's profitable, you can begin upping the budget straight away. Right that second, right that hour, right that day, or the next day. So you spend that £5, let's say on the first day again, you make £20 profit. Some people say, that's a profitable ad set, let's start upping the budget now. So as you can see, these three all contradict one another. So as I said, these aren't rules, they're probably not even guidelines, I just couldn't think of a better word. This is just what people say in Facebook groups. So much different noise being thrown about, which is why it's incredibly hard to create a Facebook ads course for people in e-commerce. And I know that people are asking me for methods and guarantees. There's no such thing as a guarantee, you just have to test. And I think this slide is testament to that. All these three different guidelines they may work or they may not work for you. I don't know if there's any science behind any of these, just what I hear and what I used to get told and what people still get told nowadays. But basically, I'm just trying to explain that there is no right or wrong with this. You just have to test. Everything just comes down to testing. So how to do it? Simple. Find the ad set you want to scale and increase its daily budget by 20 to 25%. Some people say increase it by £5, some people say by a percentage. Personally, I do the latter. I can't say whether it's better or worse than doing it by £5 a day, but personally, I go with 20 to 25% per day. Sorry, not per day. But I personally go with 20 to 25% increases when I am increasing a daily budget. So £5 becomes £6 because 20% of 5 is 1. £6 becomes £7.20. £7.20 becomes £8.64, etc., 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 and it just keeps going up in increments every time you increase it by that set percentage that you choose yourself. Okay? Again, I have to stress, this 20 to 25% budget is just a suggestion. You can increase it by 10, you can increase it by 5, you can increase it by 50 if you want. But I personally increase by 20. And I like to up the budget every few days. But again, I don't keep strict rules about this. I'm very flexible with it. If I've got an ad set that is really, really profitable, great return on ad spend, then maybe I'll increase its budget every day. In other places, maybe I'll increase every 3 days, maybe every 5 days. It's completely up to you. And here's some important things to look out for. And this is found all across Facebook advertisers, I would say. Your cost per purchase may well begin to increase as you increase your daily budget. And this is common with auto bid scaling. It happens to me all the time. And if your cost per purchase increases too much, it gets too high and you're not happy with it, you need to start slowly decreasing your daily budget back down, again by that 20 to 25% or by that £5 or by that whatever increment you have decided. Okay? And hopefully as you decrease that daily budget back down, the CPP comes back down and you eventually find a sweet spot.